Hello everyone, welcome back to another new video of Basics of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, which is a subject for the first year KTU syllabus students. In today's video, we are going to study Module 1, and in Module 1, you can see these are the topics we have to cover in Module 1, in which today's video will be regarding star-delta conversion and how we can or what is the purpose of doing this star-delta conversion. So let's move on to the video. Have you heard the term star-delta transformation? So what is the purpose of star-delta transformation? So I'll just write the heading as, all of you please write, star-delta transformation. So this star-delta transformation is used for simplifying complex resistive networks. Complex resistive networks are being simplified by converting a star shape of resistors into delta or vice versa. That means from delta to star. So please write electrical network problems. Electrical network problems can be simplified by converting three resistances in star to equivalent delta or delta to equivalent star. So I'll show you where we can apply this type of star-delta transformation. I'll give you a question here. You can see a DC network here with several resistors. Okay. And the question asked is here to find what is the total current supplied by the battery. What is the total current being supplied by the battery? So just think that these are having some values and you are asked to find what is the current supplied by this battery. That means the current from this side. You can use different methods which we have already studied. That is, mesh analysis can be used, nodal analysis method can be used, and the method which we are going to study right now, that is star-delta transformation, this can be also used. And after studying this concept, you will be getting more clear picture why we are depending upon star-delta transformation for these type of problems. These type of problems in the sense to find the total current supplied by a voltage source, a single voltage source, and behind the voltage source you can see several number of resistors. So these type of problems can be easily solved using star-delta transformation. So what is the method used here is, I am going to change this complete network, that means the resistors which are there behind the voltage source together can be grouped into a single equivalent resistance. They can be grouped into a single equivalent resistance by finding out any series or parallel connections or the transformation as we are just saying. And if it is converted to an equivalent resistance value, this complete network is converted to an equivalent resistance value, then you can find the current using just simple Ohm's law as current is equal to voltage divided by R equivalent. So if you are asked to find what is the total current supplied by a battery source having several resistors in series or parallel or any other connection, you can easily solve the problem by converting all the resistors into a single equivalent resistance and finding the current using the expression I is equal to V divided by R equivalent. So this is known as, so I'll show you how we can solve this problem. So if it was a network which was having several resistors in series and parallel, it is easy to convert this one and find the equivalent resistance. But just look here, have a look here, you can see there are no resistors which are in series or parallel. How will you identify two resistors which are in series? Can you say these two are in series? No. Can we say these two are in series? No. So you should have a basic idea about how we can identify two resistors which are in series and parallel. If two resistors are in series, you just check this this thing. That means if you are passing a current through one of the resistor, that same current should flow through the next resistor. This confirms the series path of the resistor. Okay, let's just try this one in our network which is given. So let's try to pass a current through this one I. Okay, just trying to find whether any resistors are in series or parallel. Okay, so here you can see this is, let this be R1, this be R2, R3, R4, R5 and R6. Okay, I'm going to check whether R3 and R5 are in series so that I can write as R3 plus R5. So is it possible? Let's try. So as I already given you a tip how to identify whether they are in series, just check by passing a current through this one. So if you're passing a current through R3, you can see that it will be moving like this. But at this point, there is a junction where it will be splitting into two values, which means the same current I cannot flow through R5. Why? Because it will be splitting at this point into two different values of resistors. Okay, I hope you got an idea about whether it is series or not. The R3 resistor and R5 resistor are not in series. Why? Because they cannot carry equal current, same current. Okay, now those who want to check any other resistors, you try this tip. Try to pass a current through the resistor and check whether the other resistor is also carrying the same current. Whether there is if there is any splitting path, it shows that it is not in series. You can check the same thing if you have a doubt about R6 and R2. Try to pass a current through this one and check whether the same current is passing through R2. Is it correct? If I am passing a current through R6, it will be splitting at this point, and you can say that they are not in series. Or now we identified that there is no resistors here in series. Can you identify any resistors in series so that we can simplify the network? No. Next we are going to find out whether there are any parallel resistors. So again I'll give you one more tip here. How can you identify two resistors which are in parallel? Okay. So this is a parallel, you can see a parallel type of resistors here, R1, R2. How can you check that the resistors are in parallel? Just check whether the incoming end of both are connected together at a point and the outgoing or the second terminals are connected together. If this is done, then we can say they are in parallel. That means the voltage across them will be same. Once more I'll say, there is R1 and R2 resistor. There are two terminals for each resistor. If both the terminals are tied with the corresponding both terminals of the other resistor, then only we can say that they are in parallel. If there is any other element in between them, we cannot consider them as parallel. If there is any other resistor or any other element in between them, we cannot say that they are in parallel. So let's try out with this one, which we feel that R2 and R3 are in parallel. Let's check whether this is possible. So as I already told, you have to check that both the terminals are connected together without any other element in between. So here you can see R2 and R3, they are connected. One of its terminal is connected like this. See, one of the terminals are connected together. What about the other one? Are they connected together? No. In between there is a resistor R4 coming, which makes them not in parallel. So R2 and R3 are not in parallel. Let's check whether R5 and R6 are in parallel. No. Here also you can see one terminal is connected together, but the other one is not connected together. Instead there is a resistor in between, which makes them not in parallel. So we identified that these two resistors are not in parallel. R2 and R3 are also not in parallel. Can you identify any series or parallel resistors in this given network? I'll give you 30 seconds time to identify whether there are any series or parallel resistors so that we can simplify this network to our equivalent. Okay, I hope everyone got an idea about we couldn't identify any series or parallel resistors in this network, which means we are stuck for simplifying the network. We are not able to simplify the network by identifying any series or parallel resistors. So what we can do now? We have to find the current. We have to make this complete thing into an equivalent resistor. So this is where we are going to simplify the network with the help of a new method known as star-delta transformation. Star-delta transformation. So what is meant by star-delta transformation? So before going into a detail of what is star-delta transformation, I'll show you what is meant by a star shape and what is meant by a delta shape. Then only we can solve this problem, or I'll show you how we can understand what is a star and a delta network. Okay, first one, a star network. Three resistors which are connected, one of the terminals of each resistor are connected together at a point known as star point. Okay, and the other three terminals are left free. Okay, like this, R1. Okay, I'll show you this one as R1, this one is R2, and this one is R3. Okay, terminals are 1, 2 and 3. Then this type of connection is known as a star connection. See, one terminal of each of the three resistors are connected together at a single point, that is known as a star point, and the other three terminals are left free. Then we can call this shape as a star shape. Now one more thing I'll give you an idea about. The star shape will always not looking like this. It will be only having the concept of having terminals together connected like this. For example, can you identify that this is also a star connection? Yes. Why? Because three terminals, that means the one of the terminal of three resistors are connected at single point like this. Okay, and you can see that the other three terminals are left free, open like this, 1, 2, 3, and this is the star point. Okay, or it can also come in another shape like this. You can see a shape like this, and you can identify this one also as a star, like 1, 2, 3. This one is R1, R2 and R3. You can see that one terminal of each resistor is connected to the connected together to a star point, to a point, common point. Or the shape can be also like this. Yeah. So this is 1, 2 and 3. Let this be R1, let this be R2, and let this be R3. So this is also another star shape. One of the terminal of each of the resistor is connected to a star point. I hope you got an idea about what is star shape. It does not give the shape, actually how the connection is. That means if one terminal of each resistors are connected together at a point, common point, then we can call it as a star shape. Always it will not look like this. So next one, we are going to study what is meant by a delta shape of resistors. A delta shape means a shape which makes a closed path with three resistors like this. Okay, so let this terminal, we will call it as 1, this terminal is 2, and this terminal is 3. We will call this resistance as in between 1 and 2, and it is represented as R12. I hope you have noted the representation of star, that is from the first terminal we will call it as R1, from second terminal we call it as R2, and third terminal we will call it as R3. In between 2 and 3 we are going to call as R23, and in between 1 and 3 we are going to call as R31. Now this shape is known as a delta shape, but it will not look like this for every resistors or every circuit. The shape is not important. The relevance is in the connection. Connection means it should take a closed path. That is only the thing. Now here I'll show you another way in which a delta connection can be shown. Okay. This is also a delta connection. This becomes one terminal out. This becomes the second terminal out. And this becomes the third terminal out. 1, 2, 3 can be changed, no problem. So this resistor becomes the resistor in between 1 and 2 terminal. This becomes R23, which is in between 2 and 3. This resistor becomes in between 3 and 1, so R31. This is also a delta shape, which means you have to form a closed path. One terminal is connected to the starting end of the next resistor. Finishing end of the second resistor is connected to the starting end of the next resistor. And going like this, we are forming a closed path. Then we can call it as a delta shape. Okay. Now I'll show you one more way in which this can be connected. You can see this one also becomes another delta value in which these three terminals 1, 2 and 3 becomes the three terminals, and this one becomes R31. Between 1 and 2 is R12. Between 2 and 3 it becomes R23. Okay. I hope you got an idea about the shape of the delta connected resistors. Now, what is the relevance here for the star and the delta shape? So, our aim was to simplify this network. So, what I am going to do is, I am going to identify, as we are stuck with the problem without identifying any series or parallel resistors here, I am going to identify any of the star shape or delta shape in this network. You can identify any one star or any one delta in the network and convert it into the equivalent other form. For example, that equations we will be studying in the next class. So, for example, I'll show you one thing. I'm going to identify R2, R4 and R6 as a star. So, I'm just going to darken this one so that you can identify which one I have identified. Okay. I'm going to identify this as my star resistors having a common point here. 1, 2 and 3 terminals I have identified. And I'm going to convert this one into a equivalent delta. This is a star, so I'm going to convert this one into an equivalent delta. So I'll show you how we can convert this one, or what will be the shape of the new network. Okay, so here you can see the same network I am going to draw again with resistors. I am going to skip that star here. Why? Because instead of the star we are going to draw a delta shape instead. Okay, so this one is R1 itself, here R3 itself, here R5 itself. But in between the three terminals, that is 1, 2 and 3, I am going to replace it with the help of a equivalent delta. That means we are converting this star into delta shape. So which means there will be a resistor new coming in between 1 and 2. There will be another resistor which is coming between 2 and 3. And there will be another resistor which is coming between 3 and 1. We don't know what are the values. We will only study this in the next video. How we can convert the resistor into equivalent delta and vice versa. So I'll show you now how we have simplified the network. I'll show you how we can identify. Here you can see R3 and this resistor. Let me give it as a name X, Y, Z. We don't know what are the values now. So this X and Rx, let it be Rx, Ry and Rz. Okay. R3 and Rx are in parallel, which makes the network somehow simplified. Okay, I'll show you the simplified network. Let R1 be here itself. But here you can see R3 and Rx are in. Okay, I'll just mark the Rz also here. There is no change for Rz also. Let it be there. Let this be R1. Now, what about Rx and R3? They are in parallel. You can find an equivalent resistance from this one. R3 into Rx, okay, divided by R3 plus Rx. Why? Because both of them are in parallel. Now, similarly, you can find this one R5 and Ry. These two are in parallel. See, both the terminals are connected together. So, this one also becomes another resistor which is in parallel. So, R5 into Ry divided by R5 plus Ry. Now in the next network, you can take these two are in series, which makes it to a single resistor. Okay, and your network will look like, I'll show it here. Your network will look like, I'll show it in the simplified manner here. See, if you are simplifying these two in series, you will get another resistor here. Now this can be again simplified as you can see these two are in parallel. So we can make a equivalent value from this one. And then again your network will be simplified like taking these two in parallel, you will get a single resistor here. Now you can see these two are in series, which makes the network very simplified into a single resistance value, which is the equivalent resistance which we wanted to make. So now you have identified, or we have simplified the network. Where we were stuck was when we couldn't identify any series or parallel resistors. We just transformed we transformed a shape known as a star shape into delta. Thus we simplified and found out some series and parallel resistors here, so that we can convert it into a single resistor value to find out what is the current through the circuit. So this is how we are applying star delta transformation, and in the next class we will study how we can transform this given star into a delta shape or delta values. What will be the new values x, y and z, or a person who is identifying a delta shape from this one, you can convert it into star and do the problem. I hope you got a brief idea about what is star delta transformation. Thank you everyone for listening. Stay tuned. Bye.